9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Literacy Council, Larry Martin and David Hecht back with us. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
How's everybody doing? How's life treating you right now?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Had a good weekend and got to spend some time with family and doing,
Even have a girlfriend.
check that out. Very good. Well, for folks that aren't familiar, of course, we've talked to the folks from Literacy Council a bunch on here on the show, but the title does kind of explain a lot. Roswell Literacy Council. That's exactly what the Literacy Council there. It's to help people become literate, whether it's whether they have zero literacy skills, whether they maybe have some, whether they're looking for a high school equivalency or diploma or English as second language, that kind of stuff. You help folks with all of that stuff, and all of it's free of charge too. By the way, that's
correct.
If someone is looking to better themselves, becoming literate, you walk through the doors of the Literacy Council. Everything they're going to do for you doesn't cost you one dime. It's as long as you're willing to make the effort to learn the stuff, they're going to be there to make sure to help you do that. So that's kind of in a nutshell what you guys pretty much. I know there's through other things you do stuff, but that's pretty much what the Literacy Council does.
That's what we do.
Good deal. So what's I know you guys got hampered with COVID, but have kind of opened back up and doing things. What's going on now? Are you guys back to pre-COVID levels, or is it still COVID issues? You're dealing with some of those kind of things.
Well, most of the people that needed our help or wanted our help have dissipated. They're gone. So we're here today basically to say, hey, we're available now.
The doors are open. Come on in. Let us help you.
We have someone on the phone. Now we are a nonprofit. We don't have a lot of money and we don't spend a lot. So our times are limited, but we will have someone on the phone Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 1 to 5, those 3 days.
Okay.
If you have a situation where you'd like to get tutored or you want to volunteer your tutoring, which we can use volunteers.
Like you said, you need folks to come through the doors, but at the same time, you can always use more people to be available to help tutor. The more people, then the less work there. And
Absolutely.
Obviously, you work around folks' schedules, so a lot of the volunteer work probably happens afternoons, weekends, nights. When people are available. So. You don't have a stable of volunteers that are free all of those times.
No.
So it's nice to have, this person's available on Tuesdays to do this. This person's available on Thursdays. So even if you've got it 1 day a week or a couple hours a week to help out, that would be awesome. So please reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will help people reach American citizenship. We did that last year for 2 people.
Awesome.
And that's kind of very interesting. And we used to tutor at the Youth Challenge, but they will probably start that up in August.
Yeah, they had to really lock down for COVID and things, and they're starting to peek their head out of the hole now and looking and getting back to normal. So yeah, you guys will probably be busy back over there again pretty soon. Yeah. So that's a good thing. Yeah, good deal. So let me ask you this: back pre-COVID and stuff, you guys would always have the Knowledge Bowl and stuff like that. Is that on the radar again?
Well, we're looking to do it in probably October after school gets going.
Good.
Get out of their hair.
Well, good. Well, we look forward to that. We'll bring it back here after taking a little bit of a hiatus because of COVID.
Yeah, we'd like to promote it to every organization. Any 5 people who feel like they want to help or get smart on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, and it's fun.
Yeah,
it really
absolutely.
And to be honest, it's not like you're asking to go out and run a mile or you know what I mean. It's like come do a 5K fun run. It's like I ain't fun about running, but I will sit there and pontificate and act. You know what I mean? You improve how smart I am. And that's what it is. It's as much bragging, right? Because and we'll talk more as we get here in October. But put it on people's radars now. They get teams of how many is on the team?
Up to 5.
Up to 5.
If you're really smart, you could be the only one. But,
sure. Yeah, you can have one if you. But it is a team.
Yes.
Team sport and no I in team and all that stuff. But yeah, if you were one of those people that kind of I'm full of knowledge but really the expert move is you got a team of 5. You get 5 experts and 5, and hopefully you got your sports person, you got your
teenager.
Yeah, you got your teenager for pop culture. You got your history buff. You got, ideally you want to have like all your bases covered. So you're kind of, but you should basically have an expert in every category of questions that about. But anyway, it's a big knowledge bowl that raises money for the Literacy Council. But we'll get into that here. But that'll be in the fall. But if you love that kind of stuff, be listening, because here in probably, like you said, October timeframe, they're going to have that knowledge bowl again, and it's a great time to for bragging rights and supporting the Literacy Council and all that good stuff, and win some prizes.
In the past, the Eagles and the Lions and the Sertoma have had members.
Yeah.
And each one of those won in 1 year. So
you got to dethrone them.
Yeah.
Someone's got to come in and dethrone them. So
and we get most of our money from United Way, which is not a lot, but it's nice. But we don't spend a lot of money. So
Sure.
we operate on the cheap. We have our own building. We have computers. We can tutor about any subject if we get a tutor who knows what he or she is talking about.
So really, probably your big expense is the materials, right? Is the workbooks and all the stuff that you guys use to tutor these individuals and things like that. So that's where really the money goes, is all the, which, if you ever bought learning materials, it's not cheap.
No.
It's kind of like, like when you go to college and you got to buy the professor's book and it's $200. You know why it's $200? Because they're not selling that book unless you buy it for the class. That's why if there was an audience for that book, you could buy it for $10.99 at the bookstore. But because it's a niche market, it's kind of the deal there. So you're dealing with a little bit of that. That's why the materials and things are very proprietized and expensive and stuff like that. So, like you say, don't spend a lot of money, but where it goes into that, a lot of it. So if you want to help financially, that's a good way too. That'll always help go towards paying for more materials or updated materials, or because I'm sure it's like any other industry where the materials evolve and change over time, and how we taught it 10 years ago is different than how we teach it now.
Well, we have GED books. They're pretty standard.
Gotcha.
If someone wants to get a GED, we can go through the book, find out what they don't know.
Which, by the way, if you don't have that, you're really, I'm telling you, you probably already learned this lesson yourself, but it's really hard to get anywhere without that GED. And, it's, unless you're an entrepreneur and can start your own thing, odds are you're going to be minimum wage, bare minimum type jobs until you get that GED, and that gets your foot in the door for either further education or into those jobs that are more family supporting career type jobs, and things like that. So, but if you have these issues, please reach out. This is because and a lot of the folks that come to your door, they can read, but maybe not at the levels of which, maybe, depending on their age, maybe they're older and, they're farmer ranchers. And so their education kind of stopped 6th, 7th grade or something like that. And so they're not reading at a level that they should be at. And so you can help those folks with all of that stuff. That's what we want to, if you're having those kind of issues, or if you're needing a GED, or you're wanting to learn English and tired of functioning in society, trying to understand everybody, reach out to the Literacy Council. Let's get that ball rolling. Let's even if it's baby steps, put yourself in that direction to better yourself, and utilize resources like the Literacy Council to do that. These are the things that we live in a world where, people want to help, people want to think, but you still have to take the first step forward. You have to be, because at the end of the day, you guys could give them all the material in the world, but if they're not willing to open the book and read it, or, you know what I mean? You've got to put that effort in. So that's what I love about this, because I'm thinking people that come through your doors, they probably tried it their own way a few times, and it probably didn't go well and things like that. So if you're thinking, I couldn't handle it before, come reach out to Literacy Council. Let those resources, let the volunteers, let all the stuff, the expertise that's there work for you, instead of you trying to do it on your own, or doing it. Or because that, I would imagine too, you probably have people that are frustrated and maybe they tried, but they didn't succeed, or they gave up, or it just got too hard, whatever. If you've hit that wall, don't quit. Reach out to the Literacy Council.
Absolutely.
Reach out to the Literacy Council. Maybe maybe you're this close, and we just need a little something to kind of make the light bulb come on for you. It's that's all it takes. But that's what it's about. Now, as far as tutors go, too, again, you don't have to be like a college professor to be a tutor to help out. I mean, obviously, if you know how to read, and these are things you want, but sure, if there's retired teachers and educators out there, love to have you volunteer. But just because you're not that doesn't mean you can't be a tutor, right? I mean,
Right.
that's something we want to point out too.
Well,
It's
I'm
like,
an
wow.
engineer. I wasn't a teacher, although I subbed a few times.
Sure.
But I do math, and out at the Youth Challenge, I have maybe an hour, 2 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So that's two guys, who need help, who may not even know how to do multiplication tables, who either flunked out of high school or quit.
Sure.
And by the way, the Youth Challenge is probably one of the very best investments this state can make. I guarantee you. It keeps a lot of kids out of jail.
Well, what I like about it too is it gives, humans don't learn the same way. You know what I mean? And you have kids that succeed in school, but then there's kids that, that they're learning, they just don't embrace that, or it doesn't register. And I think Job Corps does a good job of bringing those kids in and saying, you know what, the traditional paths don't work for you. Let's try something a little out of the box here. And so they're training these kids and giving them the same qualifications and skills, but presenting it in ways that they understand, or they get, or they can put practice to it. They're learning them They're learning them skills there, but no, they're teaching them, these skills that will translate into something tangible that they can. And I think there's a difference there when they get to that stage, and they can see, okay, I'm learning something that's actually going to benefit me. It's not something in theory or in concept, or you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, why do I need to learn this calculus? When am I going to use calculus? And it's like, well, on the surface, you don't. But let me show you how you apply it, and then you start doing things. Say you're going to be at this job, that you're going to, and once they see it that way, and they're like, okay, now that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
If you go into any engineering, you need to know some calculus.
Yeah.
Just in the back of your mind. You don't. Let's face it, with all computers nowadays, most of the work is done.
Sure.
But you got to know what's going on to verify it.
Well, and a computer breaks from time to time.
Right.
That still happens.
So do people.
And the most inconvenient times, by the way. It's like, I don't need to learn math. Because when I was a kid, it was like, there's a calculator. Why do I need to learn my times tables? I got a calculator right here.
Right.
No, not all the time is that calculator going to be handy to you. And you want to figure out something real quick, or are you going to sit there and wait till you get a calculator? Or are you going to do some ciphering in your head? And most of us do ciphering in our head.
Yeah.
So. But it does. It really. So you're right about Job Corps. I love what they're doing. It's great to see that they're finally able to start getting back to the business of doing Job Corps again. So I imagine, like you said earlier, you guys are probably going to be a lot more involved in some of their stuff.
Well, we think so, but we'll find out.
Yeah, good deal. So in the meantime, if you're needing help, assistance, if you're trying to get, and this is for, there's no age requirements
It's
here.
mostly adults, but we'll take children.
Sure.
Basically teenagers. I
Sure,
think.
if you kids that aren't like, young adults, we'll go with that, right?
Yeah,
Kids
that's
that
it. Yeah.
the kids are more mature, and you can leave them by themselves for a little bit to be educated and things. Not the age of kids where we got to take them to potty, we got to take them to, you know what I mean? Not that age. We got other tutors who can help. But for adults and things like that, or high school kids, if you need help there, or especially high school kids, if you're studying for SATs and ACTs and all that, I know there's a lot of resources. Can't hurt to have another one in the party here to help out a little bit and let you go over some of this stuff and get you prepared for some of these college prep type things and whatever resource, especially with COVID and where some of your resources dried up. Let's find some new resources, and let's find some other resources. And the Literacy Council absolutely is that resource for you. So,
And it's free.
and it's free of charge. Every service that's provided through the Literacy Council does not cost any of its members a dime. It's all free of charge. So that being said, for folks out there that love what the Literacy Council does and loves seeing those kind of things in our community, support it either financially or physically. By cut a check, and that helps pay for materials, or donate an hour or two or a week or a day or two a week or whatever you can afford time-wise and, sit down with some of our folks here and spend an hour, showing what, maybe you're a math teacher, maybe you're a bank teller, and you're like, you know what, I deal with money all day and things. I would be glad to teach some math to some of these folks. Or I deal, I'm writing grants and stuff all day. Let's work on some of these English skills and some of the writing skills and some of these folks. You could things you do in your day job can easily translate into intuitable teaching skills and some of this stuff and translating into that. So please volunteer. What else we got? Did we get it all?
Well, I didn't mention our building is located on 10th Street between Union and Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And it's available. Like I said, someone will be there from 1 to 5, or to say noon to 5.
Noon to 5.
On Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
So you can just come on in.
If I get this myself.
So you can come on in between noon and 5 those 3 days.
Yes.
Anytime and talk to a live person there.
Right.
What's the phone number over there if they want to, if they can't make it or want to leave a voicemail?
575-625-1369.
Okay. And so call. And if you don't get a live person, leave a voicemail, and they'll get back to you when business hours are there.
Leave a message anytime.
Yeah, and then of course you can look for Roswell Literacy Council on Facebook. There's Facebook and everything in there, so you can shoot a message through there, and someone will get back to you that as well too. So that's another great way to reach out if you have any questions or have any want to volunteer or need services. Any way to get to there. So good deal. Did we get it all?
Well, I want to make sure everyone realizes we came down here today basically to promote it, but also to encourage new volunteers, tutors. We can use more.
Always can have more.
And we also want to encourage students, people who want to learn something. Mostly adults, and we get a lot of English as a second language people who are trying to learn English. That makes sense.
But anyone that's looking to better themselves, whether it's formally or informally, maybe you're retired and I don't know, I know a lot of times parents are trying to teach their kids and things and like, well, you don't know it. Make that deal with your kids. Like, all right, you go through it, I'll go through with you. You know what I mean? And use it as a challenge for your own kids. All of this is good stuff. So please. And then, like I said, if you got an hour or two a week to donate to help someone become literate, if you've got whatever it is, now that the summer's getting here, people's times and schedules are, some are freeing up, some are shifting to other things. But if you're looking, maybe even some college kids that are looking to, maybe they're going to go to be teachers and things like that, maybe volunteer this summer out at the Literacy Council to help, educate some of these other folks and use this as some of your training towards your goals and dreams and pursuits. So reach out. It's opportunities are there. And I'll kind of close with this. You're going to get more benefit out of doing things like this. Like the world we live in, it's easy to get frustrated and get, seeing things and just shake your head at what's going on. But then you spend an hour with someone and help them see a light bulb about a moment, or you have that moment where you're just sitting down and next thing you know, a person you were dealing with is now proficient in some math thing or can write a paragraph now that is structured properly and is cognizant and clear and they didn't have that ability and you helped them do that. I'm telling you, that feeds your own soul and feeds your own nourishment too, because now you feel like you've got purpose. You feel like you've made a difference. You're making an impact on someone's life and that feels pretty good when you do that. So if you're looking to maybe, you're having your own, wanting to get involved and feeling a little like out of the loop on some things, volunteer, come out and get involved and help some people. And you're going to find yourself benefiting from it as much, if not more than the people you're helping sometimes. So reach out. Good deal. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Let me give that phone number
one more time. Give out that phone number for me. Yeah.
575, which is pretty normal, and 625-1369.
Very good. And call, if you call during business hours, you'll get a person. But if you don't, you get the voicemail, leave a message. They will get back to you as soon as humanly possible.
We have a lot of volunteers that are willing to do that.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent. Well, David, Larry, appreciate it. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll be brushing up on my knowledge, my useless information. I'll be an encyclopedia.
Well, you were there last time, so you know how much fun it was.
Oh, it was. I think we came in second that year. Our team did. So, but we were pretty good. we had a bunch of useless knowledge people sitting there too. So
Thank
That's
you
right.
guys.
You get a guy who the only thing he knows is sports. So what? Bring him on.
that's right. Bring them
right.
on.
Yeah.
Hey, there's going to be at least one or two questions. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. We'll see you next time. Okay.
Thanks, Mike.